Hey guys, the Explorer 4 here, Horrorboy465. Welcome back to some more reviews. And as you guys can probably tell, I have a brand new webcam, so the quality is a little bit better. It's not as fuzzy as it was before. The audio hopefully is very well done as well, and it'll be at this quality for the remainder of making videos here on YouTube. I actually got this webcam because I wanted to improve the audio and the video quality of the video, so hopefully that is fixed. But I also, so new webcam, but I also want to do a review on Jason Goes to Hell. Now, this is a film from 1993. It gets a 4.3, unfortunately, on IMDb. Written by Adam Marcus. And Jason Goes to Hell is definitely one of the black sheep of the bunch. It's definitely one that's very underrated. It's definitely the one that, it's the same with Part 5. I mean, Part 5 and this sort of put in the same category. Not a lot of people like Jason Goes to Hell. It's going to be one of the worst ones. For me, this has always been a favorite of mine. It's always been a movie that I really, really loved. And it's only very rare instances that there's a Part 9 in the franchise that I love. But I absolutely love this film. I think it's very well made, and I'll get to a little bit more in depth what I think about it in a minute. But Jason Goes to Hell's story. They get into the story. I mean, it starts off, you have this lady going to Crystal Lake, and Jason in this movie is all messed up looking. Really, really enjoy that look for Jason Voorhees. He chases her. Ends up being a setup operation where this girl's actually like an agent, an undercover agent, and she basically is part of this operation that's been set up to pretty much destroy Jason. They drop a bomb on Jason and blow Jason up in the very opening of the film, so it's definitely the opening. It's like, wow, I mean, the very opening of the film, we got Jason getting killed and Jason getting blown to pieces. I mean, definitely a very different opening to a Friday the 13th film. But, and basically for the rest of the movie, I mean, it goes on to where there's this guy in the morgue. I believe it's a guy from Rocky 5. He played the bad guy in Rocky 5. But he pretty much is this guy who's working at this morgue, and he is looking at all these body parts of Jason, and Jason's heart starts beating. And this is kind of a weird thing because not really said why he eats Jason's heart, because he grabs the heart and he eats it, and Jason, you see all these lights, and I guess it'd be souls maybe of Jason's past victims, and Jason sort of possesses this coroner, and throughout the rest of the movie he possesses people, and the idea of that is very different, and I can respect that a lot. I actually really enjoy that idea. It's just such a different idea for the franchise, and it can be taken here two ways. Either A, you can really appreciate it and get into it and have fun with the idea, or B, not get into it at all and really not be a big fan of that idea. Either way, it's different opinion, which is fine. For me, I really enjoy the different idea, the different approach to this film. It's a very, very outlandish, very far-fetched idea for a Friday the 13th film, but I think the way that it was handled in this film, was done very well. But it was done very, to where it has fun with the idea, and it's definitely, I think it's just, I don't know, it's just well executed. I think it's a well executed film. Sorry for so many tongue twisters. I don't know why I'm getting so many tongue twisters today. But I think it's a very well executed idea. I think it's a very well made idea. I think it's just handled very well. And it never really, although a problem for me is it never really explains when the coroner takes a bite of Jason's heart. I don't know if it was because when the heart was beating, maybe it was sending him, messages in his mind or something like that, or maybe, because he goes like this as if he can have something like going on in his head or something like that, but, you don't really know why he gets the heart and, bites a big chunk out of it. But, it's definitely a very gory scene. This movie is actually a very extremely gory film, which I'll get into in a second. But throughout the rest of the movie, you get introduced to these characters. You got the lead guy, John D. LeMay, He's pretty much this guy who broke up with this one girl, and they have a kid, and he's trying to find out the best way to provide for his family. And basically, his girlfriend's mom is the sister to Jason Voorhees. And I'll get into my opinions on that kind of stuff in a minute when I talk about my actual thoughts on the film. But to continue the story, basically she is Jason's sister, and Jason has possessed the coroner from before, killed some people, even Kane Hodder himself playing a security guard, and pretty much from there on, Jason goes after the rest of the Voorhees bloodline. You have his sister, which is John D. LeMay's girlfriend's mom, and you also have John D. LeMay's girlfriend and her son, because those are the two those are the two people in the bloodline for Jason Voorhees, and they're Voorhees family members. And Jason sort of goes on this mission where he has to kill. Well, actually, he tries to get to a Voorhees to sort of be reborn as Jason again, like the hockey mask Jason. And, excuse me, and the rest of the movie is body count, lots of death scenes, John D. LeMay sort of getting framed for some stuff, trying to get himself out of trouble, and help save his girlfriend and I believe it was his son. But he pretty much tries to save his family, and Jason eventually finds his sister's dead body, and at the end of the movie, Jason sort of comes back, and you actually get the actual Jason back again, which is pretty cool. There's a big fight that happens in the movie. Jason fights John D. LeMay at the end of the film. Jason pretty much gets stabbed with this knife that supposedly is the only way you can kill Jason. Pretty much gets dragged back down to hell. The last shot of the film is John D. LeMay and his girlfriend and their baby. They're all walking off, and then you see a shot of a hockey mask in the dirt, and then a freaking Freddy glove come out of the ground, and it leads to Freddy vs. Jason. Now, to get to my thoughts on this movie, first of all, this movie has really fantastic kills, really gory kills. There's a guy who gets his freaking face pushed into this table, and it like indents his face, and then the corner guy who was possessed by Jason takes this like prod or something like that and just sticks it in the back of his head. There's a scene where Jason walks up behind this girl and he takes the car door and he crushes her head. This guy goes to I believe hit Jason or something like that, and Jason catches his fist and breaks his arm. He stabs a girl and squeezes her head and pops it. Takes these two police officers and smashes their heads. He elbows a girl and encaves her face. Takes a guy and drowns him in a deep fryer. Takes this freaking pole and shoves it to this girl and rips it through her. Freaking crazy stuff, and it's really crazy. And takes this guy and breaks his back. Creighton Duke, Stephen Williams' character, Creighton Duke, sort of this bounty hunter that's hunting for Jason, takes Creighton Duke and breaks his back. Some really well done kills in this movie. Pretty brutal kills, honestly, and the kills are just very well done in this movie. Very well done makeup effects. It's a very gory film. The uncut version of this movie is definitely a must-see. It's filled with freaking gore, and that was really well done. For me, the way the movie was shot was pretty good. Decent camera work. I wouldn't say it's as good as the first 5 movies' atmospheres, but it's decent for what it is. It's better than honestly, I feel it's a better atmosphere than part 6 and 7 and 8. For me, it's a little bit of a step up, but not as good as the first 5 movies' atmospheres. The characters are actually pretty good. John D. LeMay's character is pretty cool. You got Creighton Duke, is a pretty cool character. I did not really like the character Steven's girlfriend, or John D. LeMay's girlfriend. I didn't really care for her, because she really did not want John D. LeMay to help her. And there's times where John D. LeMay's trying to help her, but she beats him up, or she doesn't want him to help her. So I didn't really like that character that much. I like the idea of it being different. I like the idea of it being, you know, you're not your typical Friday the 13th movie. I like how it took a different route. You know, I can really respect that. I really like the new ideas. I like the fact that it took a different direction. Because, you know, up to this point, I mean, Part 7 is okay. Part 8 was meh, watchable, I guess. Part 6 was pretty good. But for me with Part 7 and Part 8, you know, that kind of formula that was being used again and again and again, I think it just started to fade by Part 7 and Part 8. Those movies sort of still use that same Friday the 13th formula. And by that time, it was starting to wear out. I think it's very refreshing that we got a... let's throw the DVD over here. But I think it's very refreshing that we got a brand new idea with this movie. Yeah, of course, it takes stuff from movie like The Hidden. The Hidden does the same sort of stuff. And I get it, it is kind of similar to The Hidden. But, you know, I don't know. I think it's a very fun movie. It definitely has fun with the movie. I mean, there's a lot of really well done, you know, bits of humor in the film. There's good characters, really good acting. The script was very different. I really liked that. You also had some pretty good, you know, Easter eggs. You know, there's an Evil Dead Easter egg in this movie where you have the Book of the Dead, which is pretty cool. And I don't know, I like the little bit of different ideas. Like Creighton Duke, this guy is a bounty hunter looking for Jason. I like that idea. I like how Jason is being sent back to hell, and you have to use this knife to stab him with, only by a Voorhees, to send him back to hell. I like that. I like the end of the movie where there's a bunch of demons that freaking come out of the ground and grab Jason and pretty much pull him back down to hell. I like the fact that Freddy Krueger's glove comes out of the ground, and you hear Robert Englund laugh, and as he pulls the hockey mask from the ground, that's a very well done shot. For me, it's a good movie. I can have a lot of fun with it, but there's a lot of problems with like the script sometimes. Like the fact that we have Jason back and we don't really know how he survived Part 8, because by the end of Part 8, Jason's like a little kid, and this sewers filled with toxic waste, and you know how he survived toxic waste. First of all, there are some problems with the script, though. It's like, you know, where Jason had this sister, and it's like, you don't really know why. It's never really explained. It was never really mentioned in the previous films at all. It sort of comes out of nowhere, really enough. I'm just not really too sure why they made that in this film. I mean, I get it. It's to have sort of a different plot line, I guess, but Jason's sister sort of comes out of nowhere. Also, I mean, I wish we did get to see Jason some more, but the movie is pretty bloody and gory, and you basically do have Jason, but he's possessing people. But to see the actual Jason, you maybe get probably 20 minutes of the actual Jason, which, yeah, they could have probably improved upon that. Maybe have half the movie with possessions and half the movie with the actual Jason Voorhees. That could have been fixed easily. So that kind of stuff, and, you know, I didn't really like John D. LeMay's girlfriend, I guess the lead heroine character. I didn't really care for her that much. The movie goes by at a very fast pace. It's an hour and 27 minutes, and it goes by in a flash. It's a very fast-paced film, so that's also a big positive of this film. Not a problem, it's a positive. But that's also a big good thing that, you know, is about this movie, is that it's a very fast-paced film. And I don't know, it's definitely an underrated film. It's a movie that I really enjoy. I can have a lot of fun with the movie, and, you know, I like it. I think it's a very well done, very well made movie. Different idea. It was taking a chance and doing it differently, and I can respect that. I like the new ideas. I like the new approach. I like the kills, the gore. The atmosphere is decent. Also, another problem, Harry Manfredini came back to do the score, but this score is really bad. I am not a fan of the score. It sounds terrible. There's literally, the movie begins, and I don't know if you guys ever had those toys. Like, I don't know, I remember when I was a kid, they used to have these toys that where, when you tipped it upside down, this thing would go down and make this weird noise. Watch the movie. Watch the opening credits to the film. The New Line Cinema logo. While it's happening, you hear this noise. Literally, listen to that, and you guys might know what I'm talking about. There's literally this toy that when you tip it upside down, it goes like, and it's like, I don't know. It was like a toy that I remember a lot as a kid, and it's kind of like weird. It's like, what? They use that in the score. And also, the opening credits score is just, I don't know. I feel like in this movie, it's taking the original score and cranking it up to 1,000 and making it a very big and bombastic, giant score with that same sound. And I'm not really a big fan of that. And Harry Manfredini did the score, I'm just not really a big fan of it. So that's another problem. But overall, Jason Goes to Hell is underrated. I think it's a very well-made movie. It's definitely one of the ones that gets a lot of hate, but I really love the film, and I think it's well-made. I think it was a different approach to a Jason movie, and I can really respect that. And I really enjoy it. So, yeah. Pretty much, Jason Goes to Hell is one of my favorites. I love the film. It's very well-made. And, yeah, that's pretty much it for the review, guys. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video. Hope you guys enjoy the new video and audio quality to the videos. And, yeah, I'll see you guys in the next review. The Explorer of Horror out. See you guys later.